It's still listening. And there you go.
All right, here we go. Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 302. Sorry for the delay tonight. We had some issues with Blog Talk Radio, who does our audio call in provider. So issues with that tonight, but we're not on there. But we're here live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, you name it. We're here. Brandon Reeve, Jonathan Birdsong, JB. How are you, sir?
Man, it's been a long week, man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody follows me on my personal page, I did lose a beloved family member, my cousin Angela Geis, more than a cousin, that's more like an auntie, you know what I'm saying? More like a sister, all those things, man. So it has been a little bit rough, man. So if anybody's expecting, I mean, you expect world class, you know what I'm saying, out of both of us. Anytime we turn on these cameras, man, you know what I'm saying? But my mind is with my family. It has been all this week since I found out the news last Saturday or so. But unfortunately, I did not download a whole lot of Major League Baseball. So you can catch me 2 weeks from now. I'll probably bore you to death on Cubs and Reds. You know what I'm saying, and Dodgers too. But uh, this week, man, it's just pretty much, man. You know, I did get some time to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? All the NBA playoff games, and especially, oh man, how could you? If we live in Indianapolis, how could you not? You know what I'm saying? Absorb the Indy 500. I know Brandon's gonna go wild out about that one, but like I said, it's been a long week. Plus, it was the last day of school. You know what I'm saying? So we can run around with that. You know what I'm saying? But so kind of up and down. But you know what I'm saying? We gonna get to it the best we can today.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll dive right in tonight. We've got a little shorter show this evening, but we'll dive right in. NBA, Celtics and Pacers. John, maybe the closest sweep that there has ever been in NBA history. Pacers had 3 games where they had at one point a 93% chance or better to win the game,
Yep.
and they could not get it done in any of the 4 games. First game, the turnovers we talked about last week, the issues. Game 2 was the blowout. I predicted the blowout. Game
Yep.
3, they had the lead on Saturday night, evaporated late, turnovers
Yep.
with no Tyrese, and then last or 2 nights ago, same thing, repeat process. Celtics sweep Pacers, Eastern Conference Finals. They go to the NBA Finals. Uh, my thoughts, real quick, on the Pacers is it was good to see them get to where they got. They overachieved. I think we're a couple years ahead, maybe a year or two ahead of where we got.
Right.
They capitalized when they needed to on the situations throughout the playoffs. No Giannis, and you beat a Bucks team. Knicks injuries, you beat the Knicks team. They capitalize on those. You played the best team in the league by none is the Celtics, and technically you should be up 3-1 probably in this series against the Celtics. So um, tomorrow's never promised. Next year's never promised with injuries and what says with what teams in the landscape. I felt like though Pacer fans can hang their hats high. It was as a way as it ended, but still they capitalized the correct way, and I thought they went out good into the offseason.
Right. Right. Again, man. Only on Crossroads Sports did you hear. You know what I'm saying? You and I say, hey, the Pacers are gonna win 40 plus games, and they've hit that mark, 40 plus games. Um, You know what I'm saying? Once you get in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of akin to the NCAA tournament. You got to win to stay in. So
Right.
it doesn't matter. Giannis wasn't out there. Pat Beverly was. They beat the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? A team that had championship aspirations. It doesn't matter if Julius Randle or they had a part timer in the homie from Hoosier Land. You know what I'm saying? Who they traded for and oh my god, OG Anunoby, you know what I'm saying? Because Josh Hart, no, Knicks team, you know what I'm saying? They have a lot of heart, you know what I'm saying? With Brunson and Hart and DiVincenzo, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter, you know who's in front of you. You got to play because again, the Pacers didn't. I didn't hear too many excuses about Ben Mathurin because they started the playoffs without Ben Mathurin. I didn't hear too many excuses out of the Pacers team about that's how not having you know what I'm saying their potential secondary, you know what I'm saying, all league kind of guy, you know what I'm saying. But all that being said, you know what I'm saying, they were in the game against the Celtics, and I get it. You know what I'm saying, a critical turnover here, critical turnover, rebound missed there, and like I said, the Pacers got bounced. That's what it takes to advance in this NBA playoffs. You have to have all the details. It shouldn't be no surprise because the Celtics have kind of been here before, right? Last 4 seasons, they've been to the conference, conference finals and whatnot. I get it. Miami bounced them out, so, uncharacteristically, but this is they're prime for this team. From a Pacer standpoint, you kind of get frustrated because they didn't necessarily get the best version of Jason Tatum all 4 games. I think he played 2.5 games, his best version, right? But you have to also remember they got a secondary superstar in themselves with Jalen Brown. So just a learning experience for the Pacers. So then, once the injuries do mount up, it's hard to win without Ben Mather to the team. It's definitely going to be harder to win without Tyrese, what he brings to the table with scoring and being the on-court leader for the squad. Because to keep it, even super critical, man. Miles Turner plays better with Tyrese Halliburton on the court. And as we all know, Miles Turner did not have a great game 4 at all. So I know we'll get into that, with look like afterwards, man. But I just kind of get a little irritated, and we are not necessarily fans anymore, but we do support, all the Indianapolis and Indiana teams, right? But I get a little frustrated, man, when people start kind of doubting and say, "Oh, I felt like the Pacers was gonna lose." No, you didn't. You didn't think the Pacers was gonna lose. You didn't have the Pacers here. Nobody had, not even my mind, had the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Final, right? But here they are, and we got people talking about, I knew it, they blew another one. But everybody you said was going to be up there didn't make it to the playoffs. The Bulls didn't make the playoffs. The Phoenix Suns got swept the damn selves in the first round. You know what I'm saying? Giannis is not here. All these teams that everybody said was going to be something turned out to be flops, man. Oklahoma had a great season. You know what I'm saying? And then here they aren't in their conference finals their damn self. So, what I'm saying? I think the Pacers will get back, in the offseason. They'll get their minds back to it, tweak the team however they can. But this is definitely, like I said, this is 2 years into a rebuild. 2 years into a rebuild, and you're already in conference finals, man. If this was any other, you name it, franchise that has like names and banners attached to it. If this was the Lakers, they would be like, oh, well, no, if it was LeBron James, all they need is just one piece. If this was, Miami, all they just need is one piece. So, but it's the Pacers, and there's no, there's no quote unquote sexiness from the ESPNs in the world, but it is what it is. Winning. This is what the Pacers do. Win. What do they got to improve? Yes, but they are definitely on schedule, and they should be thinking, how can we get back to the same place, if not better, next year?
Yeah, I also think the Pacers throughout this playoff run, they've kind of opened Pandora's box a little bit and seen just kind of within themselves of what they have and what they could be. Obviously, no Ben Matherin due to his injury being out.
Right,
You saw glimpses of a elite Miles Turner at times. You have a
right,
rising star of Andrew Nebhard.
absolutely,
Where can you go with him? What is his ceiling? Like, what do you expect now going into next year with Nebhard? Because you got to feel better going into next year with Nebhard in your starting rotation
right,
than you did this year. I did. Remember, I was
right.
all over
Yeah,
Nemhard's ass all season long, and
yep,
then the one game he pulled out of it towards the end. I said, "Hey, I'm off. I was wrong. I'm on the Nemhard trade, and I'm continuing going. I feel better of that going into next year for a 2 guard position, or even hell, he played the 1 very well the other night
right,
without Halliburton. So can Halliburton possibly play the 2 at times and whatnot without the ball, which will be interesting to see. But we saw glimpses of what the future of this team could hold. You saw some bad glimpses too, right? Jalen Sniff could sniff the floor going on in the second half. Another good one, Isaiah Jackson. He held his own in there. I felt like for the most part, he gave good solid minutes when Isaiah Jackson was there, playing that big man role. Doug McDermott, sorry about you, couldn't keep you out there long enough to do anything. Uh, Aaron Neesmith, glimpses. Defensively, yes. Offensively, I still think it's a liability on the offensive end with Aaron Neesmith. I do. Um, do I think? with another year or two, I think you could move on from Aaron Nesmith, and maybe a Ben Matherin can fill that defensive role that Nesmith had.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know. It's weird with Aaron because I like him defensively. Offensively, I feel like it's a little more of a liability. The four verticals that Carlisle had draw up at the end of the one game out of bounds play, you're
Mm-hmm.
giving it to Nesmith on the run in the corner fade. That's not his shot.
No.
It's not his shot whatsoever. The guy that should shoot the ball was actually taking it out.
Right.
That's the problem with that. But I think we saw glimpses with that team. Siakam, he gave up a lot of trade values for Siakam to hopes to resign him. Siakam, I think he had the best playoffs. I hate to say it, John. When you needed a bucket in a game, you needed to go to. Siakam was that guy. He'd pull that 18
Right.
footer. He'd pull that 16 footer.
Right.
He'd hit that three if he had to pull it. He was that guy. He did what we needed him to do this season, and I think that's all you can ask for him. Now he's going into free agency. He's going to be offering, $34 million going into free agency. The Pacers have already made it very clear. Priority number one is re-signing him. I think they'll get it done. I think he wants to stay here, judging from what I heard in the post-game press
Right.
conference. Uh, Obi Toppin, restricted free agent. What's that money gonna? He had an up and down. Yeah, he did really well in the Knicks series. He didn't do so well Celtics series. He did all right in the Bucks series. But um, can you get? Here's my thing. What else is out there you can get that's a better than an Obi Toppin? If you don't feel like you're going to improve the team, then I think you keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Depending on what that restricted contract's going to be, I don't think somebody's going to pay outrageous for him. I really don't. I don't think. I don't think he's going to garner that much attention. I think the Pacers can get him with good value.
Right. Because his track record sometimes like he'll break a loose for 25, and then the next two games 7 and 4 and back to 10. And when this team is, what I'm saying, the prize is up on scoring, man. They looking at Obi Toppin like, who's going to be the sixth man of the year from the Pacers? Is it going to be him or McConnell? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I envision their depth. Um, he might even get a Bruce Brown, you know what I'm saying, deal, where it's like a 2-year deal underneath the cap, friendly, and then if it gets kind of wonky, because you know what I'm saying, during the press conference, man, Carlisle, it was kind of like throwing it out there that they might try to trade for another superstar. If that's the case, then players like Toppin and even Jarris Walker, his names will kind of come up and trade. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're looking for another All Star, it's going to take, some of the Pacers' depth to get it. But, I think you're right in your assessment. He probably signs for, under the threshold and remains a Pacer at least to another February. And then everybody's going to be like saying, well, where's Obi Toppin going?
Yeah, TJ McConnell. I thought we as another one that played well. He's got another year on this contract. I know a lot of people are thinking, "Hey, this is it." No, he's got another year at 9 mil. Um, but you would like to maybe look at that long term extension this year, possibly for a couple more years with DJ if he wants to stay here in Indiana. You got to think he's happy,
Right.
but he could be also getting up there in age where hey he wants to contend for a championship, and maybe he's like, hey, we're Indiana's right there, that close. But somebody asked me today. I was on the golf course today. Somebody asked me, were the Pacers the did they get there because of what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word they used? Uh, Not victims, but were they, gifted the Eastern Conference Finals based on injuries with the first round and the second round? I don't think gifted because they're professional basketball players. Everybody's
Right.
professional for a reason. Um,
Right.
I
Remember
think
that referees wasn't gifting nothing.
I think they stepped up to the challenge that was given to them, and you play what's in front of you. Listen, NBA playoffs this year, they played the number 3 seed, they played the number 2 seed, and they played the number 1 seed.
Right.
That's what you do. You play the
So
3,
every
the 2, and the 1.
so, and right, every series for them has started on the road. Nobody has said that. You know what I mean? So every series, yes, the Pacers have been it offensively. Man, Carlisle is probably his best. scheme that he's kind of come with. Him and his staff has kind of come with, man. They need to figure out defensively how they can get more production out of rebounding the ball. Off, you know what I'm saying? Especially hitting the offensive boards. And it would be better, you know what I'm saying, if they had to close out on shooters as well. Gave up too many points to be considered a championship level team.
Um, thoughts on Halliburton? Obviously, we didn't get him for the 2 games that we needed him there in the playoffs, the 2 home games. Looking long term, and by the way,
Uh-oh.
all the idiots on Facebook that are bitching about Tyrese Halliburton saying, why does he get the Indy 500 for? Why does he do that on his hamstring if he's going to be doing? Hey, dumbasses! That was last year's Indy 500. Duh. He drove the pace car last year.
He
He
did.
wasn't at this year's. It was last year. My God, we got a lot of idiots on Facebook. I had to call out a lot of them.
That's that old photo. Yeah, that was last year, y'all.
Oh my God, just so many. Oh, the comment section. I just start blasting one by one. Now, it wasn't any of our Crossroad listeners, but
There
there's
you go.
other media outlets and stuff posting. Why is Halliburton going to the Indy 500 during the Eastern Conference Finals when he can't even play? Stop
Hey
it.
man,
Do your
you know,
research.
the New York fan base is still pissed, Brandon. The New York fan base is still
They
pissed.
are. I saw a picture of Miles Turner. They had him with on a sitting in the airport runway with a sign said Cancun. They are pissed at us.
To the point, I had some Knicks fans was like congratulating, but and that's unheard of. Knicks fans, Boston fans, you know what I'm saying, from our time intermingling. But like Knicks fans are still pissed. Felt like they should have advanced, man. Felt like Brunson played a better, you know what I'm saying, series, all those things, man. But like, nah, man. Off season, man, for the Pacers. You're right. Priority one, sign Pages Siakam, figure out the all other mix. I feel like McConnell is the second coming. He's probably gonna be the next coach after Carlisle. After Carlisle leaves and he retires, man, he is beloved. But then the business kind of gets into that, man. Do you really want to pay 9, 10, $12 million for a backup point guard? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna, especially when, like you said, Brandon Nimhard is on the rise. Nimhard, I don't necessarily think Nimhard is a classic scorer. He's a playmaker though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to have him on the court. He just got to learn how to get a tight grip and on that ball and not be subject to turnovers.
If I had a choice, if they told me if I could pick, and it can't be a superstar, it can't be a one or a two,
Okay,
but if they could told me I could pick any player besides the best player or the second best player on any NBA team and put them on the Pacers, that I think that would fit this roster perfectly. And I like the dude, and we just went against him, and I think he is an incredible player. I like it. I would buy his jersey. I would. I've enjoyed him. I enjoyed his brothers played for this team previously. Drew Holiday, John, that guy, defensively,
better.
offensively, a staple, a previous NBA champion. That's the type of guy you need. Boston fleeced that trade to get Holiday.
Man, I try.
I'm happy for him.
Folks are still waiting on, you know what I'm saying, Damian Lillard to turn it on. You know what I'm saying? He turned it on the Pacers one time, but you know what I'm saying, he couldn't turn it on. You know what I mean? I'm just comparing the players that they swapped out, right? It's an odd scratch your head type of thing, man. It'll probably come out, man. You know what I'm saying? They fired Buchholzen, right? And they went through the whole drama of coaches, and they traded away primarily their second best player, man. So this the reason why. But yeah, he is a veteran presence. As is Al Horford. Don't forget about Father Time himself, man. Al Horford turned back time for the Celtics, man. But like, man, the Celtics are prime. I think Brandon, they're gonna win the championship. Uh, Dallas, I think Dallas
Yeah.
eventually beats Minnesota. But you know what I'm saying, Dallas Mavericks play too casual, and though Luka Doncic plays like it's like circus, do some of the shots that he hits right. The Boston Celtics are all about that business, man, and they can, you know what I'm saying, and when Jason Tatum is not just himself playing casual and selling for threes, they're like I said, they're the best team in the league, and I think they'll banner this year. They'll win
D
Larry O'Brien.
Decot asked, "What's Plan B if Pascal does not resign?" I've got an answer for him, and he's not going to like it, and I don't even like it.
What's that?
If they can't
Draft
sign him,
Brownie? Right.
you've got all that money. You still have to spend regardless. uh, with when you look
Don't
at
say it.
power forward, what?
Go ahead.
Well, when you look at power forwards that are free agents and stuff, number one on the list they have is Pascal Siakam. Obviously, number one. Hell, number four is Obi Toppin. So the Pacers have the number one and four free agents and power forwards this year. Um, your number two option and your number three option. Number two, I don't like. Three, I don't even like because I'd rather have Pascal during these. But number two, uh, you'd hate to do it. They have Tobias Harris. I really don't want that on that roster in there with throwing that money at him. And then the other one is Miles Bridges. Um, Other than that, it sucks because you've got Kyle Anderson, Patrick Williams, Kevin Love, Torian Prince, Jeff Green. There is no power forward. You are putting all chips in the basket and saying, here's a max deal, Siakam. Let's go 5 more years here. And let's see. If not, tell me you can't see it. Tell me you can't see Kevin Pritchard saying, shit, Pascal was going to be here. And now he's not. Tobias, come here. And then we're going to be like, what the hell? Tobias Harris? Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna go the other way route, Brandon, and say that they Plan B is gonna be a trade that everybody's not gonna like, and they revisit that DeAndre Ayton trade with
Ugh.
DeAndre Ayton is a better rebounder and then Miles Turner, and we're not necessarily gonna point one finger at why they lost Game 4, but DeAndre Ayton is not a floor stretcher. Like there's one thing he can do is rebound, and he does block shots, kind of at the same clip that Miles does. So that would be that. I think that maybe they revisit that trade.
Yeah. Evan Mobley, you'd be doing it again, but he's a restricted. Decott says Miles needs assistance on the back end to help establish a second jump. Like Mobley from Cleveland, we have enough assets to look into. Yes, but also it is a one. He's a restricted free agent next year, so he'll be trying to get his big contract next year restricted, which means Cleveland can match it no matter what. So I don't know trading. I don't know trading in the division wise if I like it. I never have really liked it in the division,
Never, right?
especially back when the Pacers did our test with Chicago. So wasn't a fan of that. And they're saying Mobley's, you know, Windhorse said today that Mobley's going to get the Cavs max contract next year. So um, looks like he'll be kind of staying there. But I don't. You gotta. I think just playing A. You gotta hope to God you give everything to Pascal, and the dude wants to stay here. Now I think it helped us the fact that we, made a run in the playoffs. That he saw what it could be. Um, Man, if we had Ben Mather, what it could have been,
Right.
right? What it
And
could have
Ben Matthews is
been.
gonna be you want. You definitely gonna see Jarris Walker's probably back in summer league this year. You're gonna see a growth. Out, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Spurred out of him because he was the Pacers first rounder this year. Again, a rookie. They got minutes because he's playing behind like how many guys? You know what I'm saying? That he's playing behind power forward center. So those two guys you want to see level up. They don't necessarily. I mean, in this draft, I'm not gonna lose my mind. There's a lot of Jay Crowders in this draft. Nothing wrong. Nothing bad about Jay Crowder, but you know what I'm saying? We have the Pacers gonna run it back with a veteran crew, bringing a young guy on like for what you know what I'm saying. If anybody casualty happens, man, you know what I'm saying, because like the numbers game, maybe Ben Shepherd doesn't play here, but you know what I'm saying, we love Ben. I'm sure he bounces back somewhere, but as long as the numbers don't get too wonky, um, I think this group runs it back. We don't have to even worry about playing B or C.
Also, need to tell Decott Plan D would be free agent from Orlando. Goga Batatsi's back. He's a free agent, so we can go run it back with Goga if need
Please,
be.
please no. McBuckets.
Man, John, Western Conference, T Wolves, Mavericks, 3-1 Dallas. The sweep is off over there. Anthony Edwards hit some big shots late. Cat hit a huge three. Played well in the second half.
Right.
Um,
Good
for
foul
him,
out.
but dude just
Yeah.
dude doesn't foul out. But my God, everything I look, dude, Rudy Gobert, he has been getting embarrassed embarrassed in this series. And then he's getting shit talked by Draymond Green on NBA on TNT, who I don't even, he brings no value to that telecast, by the way. And we'll go down that road another time. But uh, we're going back to Minnesota for Game 5. Do you think Dallas can close it out there, or are you going to wait till Dallas gets it back? It'd be 3-2 going back to Dallas.
When I watch the Mavericks and watch this series, man, up close and intently, man, it's like Luka Doncic knows he can take. It doesn't matter who they put on him, whether it's McDaniel, you know what I'm saying, McDonald's, you know what I'm saying, Burger King. It doesn't matter, man. He can take these dudes up, but it just, you know what I'm saying, him and Kyrie they just kind of take plays off, and they just kind of just do their, you know what I'm saying, thing. Jason Kidd has the other pieces. You know what I'm saying? Defensively, they're playing the best brand of basketball. It was kind of scary to see Derek Lively, you know what I'm saying, take that injury to the head, the knee, because he's a critical point to their kind of offense. He's not necessarily the guy they give to a one-on-one, but he's their guy. He's their level up guy. Like he's their, you know what I'm saying, over the top guy. They throw it over him. It's like prime Shaq. Alley oops, you know, so Sean Kemp. But you know what I'm saying? I know he was in concussion protocol last couple games or whatever, but like nah, that's another piece. They got enough to dust off the Minnesota Timberwolves as long as they come you know what I'm saying? They're not going to be they're not a great defensive team themselves, but they do play defense in spurts, and they put a great wall. They had a great plan against in the first 3 games against Anthony Edwards, man. Kind of kept him contained, kind of kept him, you know what I'm saying, just settling for you know what I'm saying, the threes, or making a bad pass, jumping the pass, horrible. But as long as they play non-casual and take things seriously, the Dallas Mavericks is going to the finals.
All the flat earthers will be loving that. Kyrie going back to Boston, where he
Mm-hmm.
stepped on
Oh,
Lucky.
that's gonna be awesome,
He
man.
stepped on Lucky when he was with Brooklyn. So Boston fans, don't forget that. Porzingis back against Dallas again.
He's on this Bill Walton. Shout out to
Shout out Bill. Yeah, we'll talk about that here shortly.
yep.
Decott said we have a log jam in the backcourt. Don't be surprised if there's a draft day trade in Hoosierville. Um,
It's a long Jimmy Ford and center though too. So Jalen Smith ain't gonna be here. I'll tell you that right now.
that's his own option. He don't have to. He can accept his player option,
Yeah, they can trade
and we're
him.
stuck with him. Honestly, I'll take this to the bank based off my old LeBron things where I told you where he was going in the past, where
Mhm.
I've been right on. I think we have a very quiet offseason besides the Siakam re-sign. I think we don't do any moves. I think we did our move with getting Siakam. I think I think they let it go. I think they're content. They are content to get Mathurin healthy, run to next year, and see what they can do.
And
I do.
possibly even trade. They got like 2 second round draft picks or
Three.
maybe
They got
yeah,
three.
maybe they might even trade out of that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know, like this kind of happens on draft day.
I
So
think this is one of the quietest off seasons the Pacers will have. I really do.
yeah,
Really do.
yeah.
So 76ers. John, tell me if you don't hear this. 76ers are willing to offer Jimmy Butler a 2-year max extension if the Heat trade him to Philly back.
I don't foresee it. They'll be entertaining and listen to it, but I don't foresee it. I think he's 305 for the rest of his career.
Uh, Lakers. I don't even know if the Lakers know what coach they want. They're going after JJ. By the way, I met JJ this past weekend on Saturday. JJ Redick. Uh,
Okay.
Today, I heard that they're interested in interviewing Rajon Rondo for the head coaching position.
I mean, Rajon Rondo got one too many brushes with the law the last 2 3 seasons. Man, again, I'm saying his mind wouldn't be there. Couldn't handle the job, but like you know, what I'm saying it's his resume, and then like coming fresh out, like where did you coach outside of his AAU, you know, what I'm saying AAU teams with his son or whatnot, man. Um, this Lakers situation is kind of turning into a real Hollywood circus, man, and that's that's what it's gonna be. Where I want to play with my son. However, if he gets drafted or he's on a 10-day or whatever, and he becomes a Laker, and LeBron is trying to say, "Hey, we don't really need those two. I got two. I got two. I think they got 2 first rounders this year, which means they're trying to attach. They'll attach Hood Shafino's contract and maybe Hachimure's contract to try to get a Donovan Mitchell. But it's not. For sure that Cleveland's going to accept that offer, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it sexy for you know what I mean for something like that. But again, that's a whole lot. Now you ask Donovan Mitchell to come in what's the focus? Are we trying to win a championship? Are you trying to go out on, you know what I'm saying, some type of, you know what I'm saying? And it's cool either way, but I don't think both can be attained. Like a
Right.
serious pro can see the nepotism happening right in front of you. And if I'm trying to win a championship, like, but how can we win a championship when this kid couldn't even, you know what I'm saying, steal minutes, you know what I'm saying, in a game versus California? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? In the Pac-12, they ain't doing this no more. So, again,
Just let
developmental
LeBron
player,
coach.
LeBron, sure. Man, he don't want that. He don't want that. That's too much. And then
Well,
the press afterwards too.
Ty Lue signed an extension with the Clippers. They're interviewing James Borrego, JJ Redick, Rajon Rondo, and even Sam Cassell. Cassell with the Celtics, so that might have to wait until after the finals is over. So with JJ with the doing since he's doing the ESPN games, and then Borrego is with the Pelicans, so that would be some targets. Um, there's a rumor, and this is on Twitter. Take it away how you want from Fadeaway World, that JJ Redick is calling around the league to fill a possible coaching staff. So um, we'll see what happens with that. But anyways, regardless, the Lakers are a hot mess. As always, the coaching roster. I said they would fail back when Darvin Ham got hired. I put the tweet out. I had to retweet it and everything. Darvin Ham was trash as a coach. So he was trash then. He was trash as a pacer. The only thing he did that was known for was breaking a basketball backboard back when he was at Texas, whatever it was, A&M or whatnot. John, what happened to you? You
Am I
good?
still there?
Yeah, you're here. I
I had to turn my. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just had to turn. I just had to turn my camera off real quick.
Okay. Uh, uh, Bill Walton passed away, age of 71 from cancer. John, I didn't even know he had cancer, but I listened on the way today to golf to a Bill Walton interview for 40 minutes, and I got lost in the sauce. The dude was unlike any other. The late night Pac 12 calls on college basketball. Back in those days with NBA on NBC, those games that he did with I can't even God, what was his partner's name? Yeah, it started with an E. Ebersol or somebody he played. He did it with, but and then his playing
Uh huh.
career with Portland, it didn't work out there. I watched the 30 for 30 on him the other night. That was on, and then going to Boston, winning the title. But Bill Walton passed away. Man, a good one is gone, and there won't be another one like him.
Nah, everybody knows. Everybody knows from listening to the show, man. Bill Walton's one of my favorites, man. It's one of the very first basketball players that I kind of learned about when I was learning about basketball. You know what I mean? When you learn about, you know what I'm saying, this thing we call the NBA. Great you know what I'm saying, great. Hold on. Let me fix my camera here, bro.
Well, there you go.
There we go. You got me?
Yeah, keep talking about Bill.
Nah, so no, man. The champ, don't this not this say glaze over the championships that he won at UCLA. You know what I'm saying? Making them like so when they talk about all them championships UCLA won one in a row. Bill Walton was there. He won two of them. When you think about, you know what I'm saying, the injuries all throughout his career and then him, you know what I'm saying, signing with the Celtics. Did he, you know what I'm saying, was the Celtics going to win without him? Probably. But the 86 Celtics is probably one of the greatest teams ever assembled. And he's in like, you know what I'm saying, him coming off the bench and, you know what I'm saying, even in the seventh, eighth man role, you know what I'm saying, was tremendous for them, man. So I like his soliloquies. I love them. I like getting lost in the sauce, probably because we drink, you know what I'm saying, we sip from the same sauce sometimes, right? But like, no, he's going to be sorely missed, man. I encourage all young people who don't think that or who buy into the narrative that only farmers and milkmen played in the 70s and 80s, man, do not do yourself a favor and watch the 30 for 30. Do yourself a favor, go down a wormhole and look at some YouTube of Bill Walton and look how he played. Look how he had, you know what I'm saying, a drop step. Look how he rebounded. Look how he played defense, you know what I'm saying, at UCLA. Look how, you know what I'm saying, the Portland Trailblazers in the Western Conference Finals in '77 swept Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I encourage all that because that all those things happen, and like I said, he was the catalyst on all those teams. Was he better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? No. Was he better than Shaq or anything? You know what I'm saying, no. And it was good to see Shaq because Shaq and him in the '90s had a lot of go back and forth, and in the early 2000s because Bill
Right.
was real critical of him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all show business and it's all, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, what are you doing to move the needle for, you know what I'm saying, for the NBA? And Shaq took all those things personal, but man, it was great to see Shaq kind of openly say, you know what I'm saying, communicate to the world what he said to Bill, you know what I'm saying, what he said to Bill Walton personally before he passed away and what he said to Luke Walton, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, giving his condolences, man. So, but like then, Bill Walton, it ain't by mistake, it's by design. The Bill Walton he was one of the first top 50 players that was honored, you know what I'm saying, way back when. And here recently, he was again honored. It's one of the top 75, man. So, yeah. Like I said, I love Bill Walton, all the little soliloquies and that, like how he talks, man. One day I wish you know what I'm saying, to talk just as crazy. Just, you know what I'm saying, or just as, you know what I'm saying, high minded. But like, nah, man, rest in peace, Bill Walton. You will be missed.
You know what? Cancer did not kill Bill Walton. You know what it was? It was that damn Pac
Uh
12 conference dissolving. That's what killed Bill Walton. Shame on you, Pac 12 conference.
Set him over the edge,
Shame
right?
on you. Shame
Set
on
him over
you.
the edge.
Exactly. Greedy bastards. Uh, all
Is that
right, John.
bastards?
Yeah, I'll say even more. This past weekend here in Indianapolis, obviously, besides the Pacers and Celtics, the Indianapolis 500. Joseph Newgarden wins his second Indy 500 back to back this weekend.
Back to back.
It was a marathon. We had a 4 hour delay, rain delay. The race finished about 8 o'clock here last night or this past Sunday night. After the rain went away, we had basically no lights. There's no lights out there for the track, so you had to get it under daylight done. Newgarden wins. Pato Award finishes second in the race. Pato was in the lead, a last lap pass for Newgarden. Pato's finished second the last 3 years. Last year he crashed out trying to make a pass late for the lead. Um, so that was frustrating. But Pato will get there one day. Kyle Larson finished 18th, the NASCAR boy. He stayed, did the race, and then went over to NASCAR. As soon as he get there, get up on the pit box. They waved the red flag. The race was halted for storms there, so he didn't end up getting to race the NASCAR race. But Kyle Larson overall did well. The position's not going to tell the whole story for Larson. Uh, he did have an issue shifting on the first restart. He lost 10 spots on that, so we had to back up that. Then he has speeding penalty. That was an issue he said he was probably going to have during the race. So he had to come back from that. He got away. He led a few laps, ended up finishing 18th based off fuel mileage. Um, but he said he will be back. Cautions throughout the race, cautions, lead cautions. There was cautions everywhere. So um, Honda engines had so many issues throughout the race. Engines blowing, so they got to look at
Get
that
out.
going into this weekend for Detroit. Um, kind of see what happens with that. 649 passes for the race. 649. It was the most since 2017. Uh, so that'll be they're in the record books there for them uh, to have. While they had a lot of crisscrossing going on, the Formula One race, first place finished first. The guy was in second, finished second, all the way to 10. Formula One, I love it, but God, they need some work, man. It's not even competitive anymore. Everybody's kind of finishing in their positions, but Indy 500 wise, 350 some thousand there. They stayed there. I heard traffic was a freaking nightmare to try to leave the place uh, till like 11 o'clock. But you can't do a night race. There's no lights there. But overall, it was a good reception. They lifted the blackout. It did great television numbers, not only here in Indianapolis, obviously, but nationwide. Uh, Indy 500 was a rock star, and looking forward to having it again next year. Right back here, same thing. May 25th, 2025. So looking forward to that. All right, John. I went ahead and muted you. There you go. You should be good now. I muted you. There was a lot of noise going on.
Man, you already know I'm in the studio, man, and the dog would not cooperate. But like, no, man, New Garden going back to back. I don't think anybody's been back to back since what 2008, since
Since
Elio.
2002. 2002.
Yeah. Brandon, he ain't gonna. He's not necessarily. He ain't getting ready to retire no time soon, man. Could he? Could he go three-peat?
He could. He's got the team for it. Team Penske, they're strong. He's 34 years old. He's not going anywhere. I think absolutely he could do it. Now, will he? Man, a lot of people didn't think he'd repeat, and he's done that. So I won't say it can't happen, but it'd be record breaking if he
Well,
does.
he's what one thing for sure is, man. He I think where they at this weekend. I think they're in
Detroit,
Detroit this weekend,
2 races.
and I know it's hard. You know, what I'm saying him winning that probably I wouldn't necessarily put money on a top five finish. I could, you know what I'm saying, I could foresee. Like, nah, man, he's the. I don't know if he ain't the face of IndyCar racing. He should be, man, because like I said, he run a strong. Like, man, that was real dynamic. Him taking position and winning this race. You know what I'm saying? Second time go around, and like I said, man, there hasn't been this much sizzle with an individual driver probably since Castro Nevis.
Yeah, and he was Team Penske as well. So, but yeah, I was really impressed with a lot of runs from different people. Connor Daly had a great run as well,
Mm-hmm.
finished in the top 10. Um, Kyle Larson, as I said, he's learned now, so he'll be back next year to do it again. Uh, Chip Ganassi Racing. Scott Dixon had the lead there for a while, came back. Alex Palou, the series leader in points, had a bad race. Ganassi Racing just wasn't there this month. They really weren't, and they didn't have the speed. We'll see what they do going into for next year's 500. Uh, Man, the weather just really played havoc, and I'm glad they got it in on Sunday. It was there was a lot of question if that was going to be able to get in. They had
Right.
the gap. The radio ratings were good. The TV ratings were good. John, I got I got like basically from my me to my hand to the old Borg Warner on Monday night at the victory banquet I was at. So and I got to talk to Newgarden for a few minutes. So that was that was cool. I got to talk to several drivers for a few. So yeah, a lot of them very very cool. Will Power crashed out. He was my initial pick to win the 500.
Mm-hmm.
He crashed out on lap 156, I think it was, or so. But uh, no, overall, it was awesome to see. I'm excited. I'm already ready for next year's 500, even though we got a ways to go. But yeah, cool to see.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
What else do you have, John? I don't have anything really on the list left for tonight's show. Really, it was
Man, like I
basketball.
said, man, I don't have any Major League Baseball notes. Shame on me. I know the NFL. There's been some minor signings over the last couple of days, man. Guys, you know what I'm saying, position wise. I know in OTAs on training camp rather, man, Caleb Williams has looked terrible
Uh oh.
per reports.
Uh
So that's a little concerning. But you know what I'm saying. I'm sure Eberflus they'll get that. They're gonna have to because otherwise, you know what I'm saying. Everybody's getting fired. The coach and the general manager. But other than that, man. Oh, and then the kid Drake May, man. New England's all in. They gave him a huge contract. He signed, still delivered.
oh. Who's the Colts wide receiver they just drafted?
You said what about him?
Who's the Colts wide receiver they just drafted? Uh,
And
I
what
got
we talking about? What
their wide receiver they just drafted in this draft.
you said? Who is he? What about him? He hasn't signed yet.
Well, but I mean, this guy. I'm just trying to figure out his fucking name for a second. God. Oh, Mitchell. Adion Mitchell. There are a lot of Colts fans telling me, and I quote them on this.
Uh-oh.
This Adion Mitchell is the next quote Randy Moss. I said,
Oh
now pump
wow.
the brakes. Do we know what we're really talking about here? Let's pump the brakes. He's a
A
good
non-first
fit.
rounder is the next Randy Moss.
That's what they're telling me.
I don't think so.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it
Uh,
myself.
the coach the coach's fortunes is going to be rest on the shoulders of AR Anthony Richardson, and also potentially if this was it, I don't want to mess up his name. I don't want to mess up his name. You know what I'm saying? But the new defensive back, you know what I'm saying, they just got from UCLA, if he can play, you know what I'm saying? And defensively, man, it looks great on paper, but they're gonna have to figure out if their quarterback can stay healthy. and stay 100%. The homie is not playing for us anymore. That era is over. Gardner Minshew era is over here in Indiana. So if Anthony Richardson can't, get through the season, you got Flacco, and I know Flacco had, I know he had some flashes last year in Cleveland, but if Flacco is out there playing more than 6 games, the Colts would be looking for another quarterback.
If you use Flacco, you damn sure be wacko. That's the way I leave it.
Oh wow, Brandon.
So, all right. That's all I've got, John. There was ESPN news. Cleveland has been granted permission to interview Golden State assistant Kenny Atkinson and New Orleans assistant James Borrego for the head coaching jobs. Cavs began their extensive interview process that will include several more candidates for them. So basically, they're going to put him in front of Donovan Mitchell and say, "Do you like him so we can keep you, or no?"
Yeah, that. The way the NBA is firing and hiring coaches, man, is wild, man. Do you like this guy? Like, dude, would have the front office got to have some balls, man.
Hey, I'm going to call it here first. Don't be shocked if Frank Vogel ends up in Cleveland.
Uh oh. Take the money, Frank.
I'd do it. Yeah, for sure. So I want to thank our sponsors, Scott K. Nichols State Farm Insurance, as well as Maverick Custom Motorsports. John, without them, we would not be able to do this, what we do each and every week. We are sorry. Blog Talk Radio has effing issues again. It seems like every other week we can't do the call-in show. So we at least can bring you this each and every week, and we have your comments on here and whatnot. So we appreciate that. Housekeeping next week, no show next week.
Oh,
I'm out of town next week for work. Maybe me and John will do a live at some point on the phone to kind of just recap some talk. I mean, we got 9 days, at least 9 days till the NBA Finals, so there ain't gonna be
right.
much basketball talk. So, but yeah, no show next week. Take it off, rest up. We got the finals the following week, and then John starts putting together his stuff for the draft because the NBA draft's coming. He's gonna have where he thinks Bronny's gonna go. Caleb Love's coming back. He's going back to Arizona. That was also news today. Um, so he'll be going to the Big 12 for sure. So, anything else, John, before we go?
No, I know. There's been some NIL talk. I know there's been some
Still?
NCAA college football talk. Man, we will get to all that in 2 weeks, man. Um, I just because now schools can pay players and whatnot. I think that's going to be better than having the conglomerates and and the alumni kind of. They'll still have some say, y'all. But I think that's going to be better when the schools just kind of control some, and that's what it is. I ain't saying indenture these athletes. I say control it, man, because like right now it's out of control, man. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in episodes, in the summer, man. Like I said, man, I can't wait to get back into this baseball, because I know, our show is kind of lacking in that, man. But no, man, Brandon, it's been a great show, man.
All right, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Conversation continues on Facebook. It continues on the Twitter. We'll see